This is a Mercy Girl production.
Okay folks, we're going to go ahead and remove the throttle body. Why? Because I can't reach the back bracket, and it is a mother to get back there. So consensus is we're going to remove the throttle body to access the back. Not exactly how we really wanted to do this, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. So we're going to remove the throttle body. Nothing else is practice, because I really think that old Lulu Bell here is having throttle body issues. So nothing else. I'll give her a good spray down too. See what that does. But I'll have to cinch this all back up again and get it taken care of. But we're going to go ahead and remove the throttle body. It looks like there's just 4 bolts holding this on. So pretty simple. Get the throttle body off, and if nothing else, y'all get to see the removal of a throttle body. So I did plan on making a throttle body removal video, but you know what? We did it. So this, of course, is the throttle body, and as we can see, it's a little bit on the dirty side. So I'll go ahead and give this a good thorough cleaning. We'll do that over here. Give it a good cleaning. A little bit of throttle body cleaner. Look at that.
This is
All
a Mercy
carboned
Girl
up.
production.
Get some paper towels. We'll clean this out. That is pretty heavily gunked up in there. Look at that. Look at that mess. So clean this throttle body up. Folks, this is only 95,000 miles. So pretty well gunked up. Turned out to be a good thing. This thing had all sorts of carbon in it.
Well, it's a good thing to clean them, because that'll make it stumble off idle. And
It's been how do you say it? It feels like it's losing power. And I don't know if it's a plug or
this it won't affect it once you're above, quarter throttle, but just right in where you tip on it, that's important. That's it's got to calibrate itself for the idle.
so I turned the battery off, so it'll have to relearn the whole system again, right?
Should work. Yeah, it might run stupid for 25 miles, but it should relearn.
Run stupid.
back to the base and you'll be okay.
But like I said, I didn't plan on this being a throttle body video. Maybe I'll just take and make this into a separate section and make this a throttle body cleaning. But as you can see, I have now got it nice and clean inside and out. One last good little squirt to clean everything out of here. So I will let this dry and I will clean. I will now clean the inside of this throttle body. Since it is probably dirty too. Look at that. You look at that intake, and I'm trying to clean that out a little bit. I'll get that a little bit of a clean up, a little bit more of a spray. Gasket looks like it's in good shape, so get that all cleaned off. Who knows, this might fix a few other issues that I was having. But got the gaskets cleaned up here, everything looks good. So what I'll go ahead and do now is move on to changing the spark plugs. But that is how you remove your throttle body, and this is Mac T. So if you have any questions on removing the throttle body and of course cleaning that up and then the reinstalling of it, by all means keep watching this video, because eventually I'll get it reinstalled after I do the spark plugs and remove the, of course, the intake manifold. Now back onto our story. The reason I was having a hard time is there's a bolt right down there. See that bolt? That fastens to the intake manifold, to the bracket there. So I have to remove that one. So I have to get down there and of course remove this right here, and that's what I'm going to be doing next, is releasing this one, getting this one off, and of course once I get it loosened enough, then I can remove it by hand so I don't lose it. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing down there, but it's pretty tough getting it off of here. It's a pretty long bolt too. There we go. I got it off. So folks, I'm going to take a short break here and then resume. I got to get this battery charged. I've been working on this, trying to get this out of here, and it's proven to be a wee bit of a problem. But I think I'm getting there. You got a lot of things you got to wiggle around in order to get this out of here. Now the idea is to remember how you got it in there. But of course, this is it. And as you can see, I got a lot of oil in here. There's a lot of oil inside this intake. I got the gaskets for it, but apparently I'm gonna have to reuse these gaskets because the gaskets that were sold to me are the wrong gaskets. So I cannot use the gaskets. They are the wrong gaskets for this intake manifold. That being said, I'm gonna just go ahead and reuse these. They do look like they're in good shape, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean them up and get them degreased a little bit, and of course get this taken care of. But now have it all taken off, and of course we can go down and check a few things out. A little bit of an oil film, as you can see, that is in there. So I'm going to try to clean that off the best I can, and then of course get it all put back in there. But now, as you can see, I can get to the actual coils now. This is the PCV valve back here, and there is a clip. Now that is one mother bear to get off. So, in case you don't know what you're doing on this, because I had to work at it. It's a different system. This generation 2, 3, 5 is definitely a different critter, but as you can see, you got this little clip right here, and you just pull up on it, and then it releases it from the PCV hose on here. So you just basically take this and just pull this clip back like that, it releases it. So this is the hose. Otherwise you could release the hose and try to do it this way, but this turned out to be the best way. You just had to reach back there and release the clip and then pull it off, and then it came off all right. But overall it's a tight fit, folks, so be ready to argue with it, and of course explain yourself to the to the system when you're working on it, because it's going to make you have fun. And we're trying to clean all this up. Get everything clean here. And then I'm going to put rags. I'm going to put some rags in there. Basically to keep anything from falling in. Bolts, anything like that. So I got those covered up there so I can't get anything in there. So we're going to get started. So that being said, since I can't replace the gaskets, I of course cleaned things up and got everything done. I used the intake and throttle cleaner to do that, get the oil out of there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with the back plugs first. Always try the hardest ones first. What the heck. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the plugs and the coils out, and then of course replace the plugs. I do know I have the right plugs. That's not an issue on this part, but it's sort of disheartening to have so many incompetent parts dealers. I don't know what the deal is. Thought it would be simple to get a part. You know, simply ask what it is, and continuously you get the wrong parts. I don't know what to make of that. It's just astounding the amount of time I have to waste doing this. And of course, you got to pull this red tab back. Of course, snap that back, and then of course pull on it to get it out. Of course, easier said than done, apparently. Not sure what the deal is. There we go. Apparently, you got to push on the little black tab once you get that done. Then, of course, wiggle it. Try to get it out of there, and hope that your boot's there. And of course I lost the bolt, so go figure. It's always something. So, alright, got back here, I went and found me a little bit of a bolt to help out with getting these things off of here. So, now I can pull everything off, get these all released, so I can get the plugs off. Hanging on to the bolts, right? You don't want to lose the bolts. Hang on to the bolts. Got an extra one just in case. So I'm all set. We're good to go. Let's see. Pull this clip, push down that pin, and slide that one out. Now we can go ahead and do a little bit of wiggle, get everything out of there. That one, of course, came out really easy also. And I'm keeping them in order, just in case you all didn't think so. I am keeping them in order, so I know which one came out where. Pulling the spark plugs out here on the rear bank.
This is a Mercy Girl production.
Of course, they look like they're in pretty good shape yet, really. So, not doing too bad. Not doing bad at all.
Still dripping.
Well, I think maybe you could probably eventually call it a day. Getting this other last one out, then I'm going to do an endoscopy on the cylinders real quick, and then change the PCV valve out also after I get the spark plugs put back in. Again, spark plug, looking really good shape, 95,000 miles. Okay, YouTube folks, we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of anti-seize on the spark plugs, just to try to help ourselves out later. Again, you don't want to go crazy on this stuff, but you do want to get some on there. And list a little bit of dab on here. I don't want to overdo it, but maybe it'll help us a little later when we go to change these plugs next time. But we'll get a little dab on there. And of course I got a little bit too much on this one, so we'll spread her out then. And then of course we're going to go ahead, we're going to put this spark plug back into the cylinder very carefully. Hand tighten it, remember. Get our hand started. We'll get all three of them in there, and then I'll tighten them down. Sort of going slow because I wanted the engine to cool off before I started tightening up on these spark plugs and everything else, because I just didn't want to strip anything out. So sort of taking it easy and going slow on this process, just so I didn't have a real hot engine I was working with. But it's cooled down quite a bit now, so it shouldn't be much of an issue. Again, getting the spark plugs back down in here. Getting this all taken care of. You know, it's just amazing how you start working on this stuff, and as you're working on it, you run across other things you're going to do, and you just got to pick your battles one at a time as you're doing this stuff, because it could drive you nuts. But I decided to change the plugs, but I didn't decide that I was going to take and do exhaust manifold work. That wasn't exactly my, or not exhaust manifold, but throttle body work. But I ended up having to do throttle body cleaning, just because of the fact that you had to remove the throttle body in order to get at the bolt. So it is a benefit. It was really dirty and carboned up, so it really worked out that I went ahead and did that. But it just wasn't a planned maintenance thing for me. As you can see, there's a lot going on in these new second generation 3.5s that you really got to pay attention to. And I haven't even worked on it, the Ecoboost yet. I'm still dealing with the regular 3.5s. So I'm working on just trying to get things done with these. But I'm sure in time I will end up working with a Ecoboost 3.5, or who knows, maybe maybe just how do you say it, a 2 liter or a 2.7 turbo. That'd be a new experience for me. Not sure how much of it I would do myself, but get them nice and snug on there. Again, we're not torquing them down real hard, we just want them snug. So there we go. We got all three back spark plugs in. Now I can take each coil, and for each coil I'm going to just put a little dab of the dielectric grease in each coil, when I go to put it on, and then just slide it right over there, get it onto that spark plug, and get it seated in there. You go ahead and hand start the bolt, get it seated down. And do the same thing with the next coil. Just put a little dab of dielectric grease in there. Just enough to make sure things don't get sticky. So we're going to go ahead and get this one put in. Get it seated down. Get the bolt on it. Get that hand tightened. And then the last one. And to get the last one, I put a little grease in there. I broke my bottle when it fell, but I got a little bit in there. And of course, I'll go ahead and get this one seated in there. And then get the bolt on it. This hand tightened. I'll go ahead and cinch them down a little bit. Get them all tightened up. Nice and snug. There we go. Now we can go ahead, put the clips back in, and remember, they just go in and they snap in, and you just push the red tab back. So you should hear that click when you put them in. There's the click, just push the red pin in. Same goes for the last one here. You just take it, you push it in, click, click, and then snap that in there. Now I'm going to take the pliers here. We're going to go ahead and remove our PCV. Whichever way it goes. There we go. Get that off of there. That PCV still in pretty good shape. Now folks, I don't know how to get this off. This is not part of the deal. How do you get this off? You can't get it off. It's like on there forever. Okay? Apparently, there has to be this part that goes to it. Because there is no way you're getting this off of here. Okay? Again, another failure, I guess, on parts stores, because there's no way you can get that on there. There's absolutely no way. I'm going to try to clean this PCV out with some throttle body cleaner, and we're just going to go here and try to carry on that way. But this ain't going to work. The PCV will not be able to be taken off. So, okay folks, PCV for a 2011 Ford Edge. If you're going to take and replace it, this here is a heat shrink part onto the PCV. You will need this entire piece here if you're going to replace it. There's no way you can replace it and insert this PCV into here. There's no way. You'd have to break it to do it. So just so you know, learn the lesson, learn what you need to order, and check the parts, because apparently these parts supply places can't get it right, or Ford's not putting it right, whatever the situation is. But this I'm going to have to reuse, because I cannot replace this onto here without breaking this, and then I'd have to buy this part. So lesson learned, if you're going to be taking and doing this work, again, I thought I had the right parts, and it turns out, again, wrong part. Wrong gaskets, wrong parts. That's all it is about this, okay? Folks need to get their stuff together in one side. This is getting rather disgusting. This sucks. Get their stuff in one sock.
By the time I had it, I think it was like $90. It's the same with standard basic.
I think I'll be able to make it by 3. Yeah, it takes a while when you videotape stuff, is all I can say. Again, working on getting these out. Don't want to lose the bolts. So, set them off to the side. But we'll go ahead and change these plugs out next. And then we can really start getting back to putting everything back together. Clip on here. Push down on the black tab. And she pops right out. Red clip up. Push on the black tab. Pops out. Red clip. Push on the black tab and she pops out. And then, of course, we wiggle, 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 wiggle. And we got this one. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. This one. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There we go. They all came out really easy. Again, we don't have too much going on here as far as the video goes. We're gonna take and we're gonna replace the spark plugs next. Okay. Again, getting them all off of here, really easy. Pulling them off. And we'll pull the spark plugs out. This is, I would say is, you know, if I wasn't videotaping, I'd probably be spending a lot quicker time on it. But really a pretty clean plug here on that one. So the plugs so far have been in really good shape. Don't see a whole lot of wear on them. I'm sure they're wore out a bit, but overall, good shape. Again, this one's in good shape. This one is in really good shape. So, got a lot of good, a little bit worn, but for 95,000 miles, we're doing pretty good. Now we're going to, of course, go down and look at the cylinders. So, here. Get this spark plug in. And we'll get her in here on this one. And we got this one going in. And of course, there we go. We are now almost done with our spark plug change. Didn't go quite as well as I wanted to, but I got one thing done and I got another one. Cleaned the PCV valve out with, of course, some cleaner. So hopefully it'll stay fresh and running for a while yet. Maybe next time I have to do the plugs, I'll change her out. Ain't gonna go back in here just to do that. So go ahead and put the plugs nice and snug. There we go. Nice and snug on these things. You don't want to torque on them too hard. They're all they are, I guess, aluminum. So take it easy with them. But there's that. Now again, a little bit of the dielectric grease goes in here. Put that in there. And of course, we're going to wiggle that on there. Get that onto that. Do the same thing for this one. Get a little bit of dab in there. And of course, wiggle that onto there so it sits on there nice and firm. And last but not least, a little dab will do you on this one too. And we'll get this one wiggled on here. You tend to seat on there when you do that. Get our bolts back in here. Get them tightened up. Now, if this seems like a long video, I made it this way. You're going to see, I'm going to cut it down. You're going to miss out a lot of my waiting and everything else. But, you know, I'm showing you the whole thing. Everything I've been running across. I planned, but I didn't plan because, you know what? Nobody tells you on these parts. They, oh yeah, this is the right part, but you get in there and it's not the right part. That's what's so disgusting about this. So hopefully I'm saving a lot of people a problem here by showing you what you actually need, vice what the parts stores are telling you you should get, because they're giving you basically bum dope. That's the only way I can say it. Bum dope. They're not helping you. They're causing you more pain and suffering than anything else, just because of, I don't know, the system is incompetent, I guess. You know, and sometimes the clerks don't pay attention. They don't care. They just want to make the sale sometimes, I think, too. But, you know, we could all save each other a lot of time if they actually had correct information. So, that's my rant. But, anyway, Mercy Girls, as a rule, opted out of my endeavors today. She wanted to go out and partake in summer festivities, so what am I gonna say? I'm her dad, I gotta let her have fun. And to her, sometimes this is really boring, and she just waits around and watches me work. So, that being said, she's out having fun today. I'm doing this, and I'm frustrated with it anyway, so I know she would be. But we're going to start putting everything back together. I'm going to clean up the laptop and everything off of here, and then we're going to reset, and we're going to start putting the intake manifold back on.
Thank you for watching, and remember to like my videos and subscribe to Mac T.